Hello and welcome to this week's session of Sunday Morning Together. We're now on to week 2 of our Journey to Easter series, where we're going to be looking at who Jesus is, what he did, why he's so important, and what happened at Easter. This week we're looking at another one of his miracles where he feeds a lot of people.
Jesus had sent the 12 disciples out into the country and gave them the power to heal sick people and tell others about God's love. When the disciples returned, they met with Jesus to tell him about all the people they had talked with and had healed. They were all very excited to tell Jesus about their adventures. The problem was, people followed so that they could find Jesus. They had seen the miracles he had done and all the healing, and they wanted to see more. But Jesus knew that the disciples wanted to talk to him. They hadn't even had a chance to eat yet. So he said to them, "Come with me and we will find a quiet place to talk and get some rest." When Jesus and the disciples arrived, they noticed the large crowd. Jesus felt so much love for these people because he knew that they needed a teacher and someone to believe in. He knew that the disciples would understand, so he began teaching the large crowd about many things. It was starting to get late in the day and none of the people had supper yet. The disciples came to Jesus and said, "There is no food around here and it's already getting late. Maybe we should send the people away so they can go to the surrounding towns and get themselves something to eat." But Jesus replied, "You give them something to eat." The disciples didn't think that they understood Jesus right and said, "We can't feed all these people. We would have to work for almost a year to pay for all the food." While the disciples were talking to Jesus, a small boy came up and he offered Jesus his lunch. The little boy had 5 small loaves of bread and 2 small fish. But how far will that go among so many people? That the disciples wondered. Jesus smiled and said, "Ask everyone to sit down." There was lots of grass to sit on, so everyone was seated, all 5,000 of them. After everyone was seated, Jesus took the loaves of bread and thanked God for it. Then the disciples passed around the bread and everyone could take as much as they wanted. He did the same with the fish. Remember, these were 5 small loaves of bread and 2 small fish, only enough for a little boy's lunch. There were 5,000 people all eating from this small boy's lunch, and they could eat as much as they wanted. There were probably more than 5,000 people at your church or school. It's a lot of people. After everyone was full, Jesus asked the disciples to gather all the food that was left over so nothing would be wasted. After they gathered all the baskets of food, they counted them up. There were 12 baskets still full with some bread and fish from the little boy's small lunch. His lunch probably barely filled one of the baskets before Jesus touched it, and that was a huge miracle. After the people realised what had happened, they said to each other, "This must be an important person sent from God." But we know he was so much more than that.
Thank you for joining us for another lesson. If you'd like to continue on, there are worksheets in the Google Drive link below. We will be on every Sunday morning live at 10:15 a.m. and if you'd like to join us then, please email and we'll get you added onto our mailing list.